Welcome back to AM Northwest. You know, when it comes to interviewing for a job, most people take the wrong approach. Here to share the 6 common mistakes and how to avoid them, we welcome back career strategist and professional brand expert, Dr. Parker Walsh. Always good to see you, Carol.
Yeah, you too.
So you say that people approach it like an audition?
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. It's like they want to win. They want to get the part. They want to land the role. But they're not really thinking about how am I going to blend in with the family, right?
Oh, right.
I think they should look at it more like meeting the in-laws than it is an audition, because you're about to establish a relationship with an organization and be there for a long time. So you have to really think about fit. Is it not just, can I get the job, but, you know, do I really fit in here and do I really want to be here as well?
It's more like a conversation then.
It's definitely more like a conversation, yeah.
You talk about being authentic. I think some people may not even know how to be authentic, actually.
No, they don't. You know, because they think of it like an audition, they think, what does the company want? So they try to put on the part, as opposed to just really being themselves. As I said, you want to make sure that, you know, people have to realize that you aren't just being interviewed, you're interviewing as well. So you want to make sure there's a good fit. So being authentic and being yourself is really key and important.
And then make an impression, but how do you do that?
It's how you show up, right? It takes a tenth of a second to make an impression, right? We talk about this a lot. So what you wear, right? If you show up, you want to show up and send the message that I'm confident in who I am, I have a skill set that can do the job, and I know I'm the best qualified for the job. So sometimes people don't realize that what they wear makes a difference. I had a conversation with someone who was interviewing, and when she looked in the lobby and saw the 2 people who were up for the job, she didn't think one of them was interviewing. She thought he was the assistant of the other person who was interviewing. So
funny.
What you wear makes a big difference. Yeah.
So do you dress, I mean, you've always heard this, do you dress for the job you want or the job that you would get promoted to?
You should dress for what fits the company culture and what's comfortable for you.
I wonder how you find that out.
Well, you do. That's the other part. You do research, right? That's the next point. People don't research the company. So you kind of understand a lot of tech industries, you can dress more business casual for the interview. But if you're going for a law firm or an accounting firm, you want to dress up a little bit, right? So a lot of it really depends on the company culture and what you're walking into. So doing your research on a company is a big thing that people do not do. They look at the job, but they don't understand what the mission statement is. Is it an innovative new company? Is it a established traditional company? And if you're somebody who's creative and likes to do things, you know, in a different new way, and you're going into an organization that's very traditional and straightforward, it may not be a good fit for you. So that helps you to know what to wear, but it also helps you to be very prepared for the interview as well.
And oftentimes you'll see pictures of a company and the employees working online if you Google.
Absolutely. Now, a lot of places, the tech industries, for example, you can wear jeans and a sweatshirt to work. Don't wear that to the interview.
No, be a little more formal.
Be a little bit more formal because you are meeting the parents. So, you know, as I said, think of it that way. So what would you wear to really send the message that I'm qualified and prepared for this job? Not, hey, look at me, I'm ready to start tomorrow, right?
Do you think you should come with questions to ask them?
Absolutely. Having questions shows that you're interested in the job. It shows that you looked up information about the job. And it also shows your intelligence. And it shows it's an opportunity for you also to bring in things that may not have been brought up in the interview that you want to be brought up. So it's a great way to frame that information in the form of a question to be able to show a little bit more about yourself and what you have to offer to the organization.
Okay, so is there anything that you should go in knowing what the answer is?
Yes. If you do your research around the company and what the position is, you should know some of the answers already to the questions, right? So if you have a question or two that you already know the answer, but you just want to get some clarification on it, or you may have some ideas that may be helpful to show that you're really thinking forward about the position itself, then that's a great question to ask as well.
You mentioned that they're bound to ask you, tell me about yourself. So know the answer to that.
That's the dreaded question, right? And so where do you start, right? Do you start from, I was born on a rainy day on a Thursday, right?
It was dark and stormy night.
Dark and stormy night, right? So a lot of people, it makes them freeze because they're like, where do I start with that story? And I was teaching an interview prep class at George Fox University to some graduate students. And I said, if you could tell a story, that's where the professional narrative comes into play. And I've been on here talking about professional narratives. It's about telling a story. So if you said something like maybe you're going for a nursing position or a social work position and you said, you know, when I was 13, you know, my younger sibling was in the hospital and the nurse was so caring and helpful to the family. It just really helped me to see that this is why I wanted this for my career, right? Isn't that more exciting?
That's a great story.
And it shows a little bit about yourself, but it also shows your connection and relevancy to the role.
And then you say there are 3 Ps, prepare, practice, and be present.
Yes. So preparing is a really good thing. I also suggest suggest knowing a little bit about your interviewer. Do some research about what their background is and where they came from. You may realize you came to the same school, you have the same alma mater, and that's a great conversation to be able to have and a great connection to make. Practicing is important. Again, it's not an audition, but sometimes taping yourself, you realize how you come across. Sometimes we don't realize how we come across, right? And so taping yourself, you may find you have a tick that's annoying, or you say a lot, or you roll your eyes, or some of the nonverbals that you don't realize you have are important. And then also, you also want to practice and to prepare, and be present. Right. So you want to make sure that you're available and not thinking about something else or thinking about what you said or thinking about how you want to impress, but really just be present in the conversation and connect to the people that you're interviewing
I would think that really means listening to what that person is saying.
Yes, exactly. Because if you're present, you're listening and you can actually delve into a conversation. So it's not an audition. So that's really important. I mean, you got lucky enough to get one of the 250 they usually for every position, people are looking at about 250 resumes. So you got lucky enough to get there. So make it a conversation and impress them by making that connection.
Okay, here's the thing I tell my nieces and nephews, always send a thank you card.
Yes, always, yeah. And so in this day and age, sometimes hiring managers, you can't get their contact information. But if you send it to the company, to the main address with their attention, or you can also ask them, ask the receptionist on the way out, or ask someone, how can I be able to send someone a thank you note to get their address? That's really a cool thing. And if not, you can always do it through email. But absolutely thank them for the opportunity.
Carol, thank you. Appreciate it.